The film begins by introducing a couple named Jen and Jay, who are soon to be married. Unfortunately, they encounter an accident during their journey, resulting in Jamie's tragic death. Fast forward 3 years later, we see Jen taking photos at a lake, joined by her friend, Rennie, who informs her about an invitation they received for a vacation at the Mayday Festival from Ian, a friend of Michael, Rennie's partner. To reach the vacation spot, they need to use a boat, which Ian has already arranged. Upon arrival, they are greeted by Ian's uncle Wade, who owns the cabin where they will be staying. Despite usually renting out the cabin, Wade graciously offers it to Ian and his friends for free, along with tickets to the festival. It's apparent that Ian is attracted to Jen, considering her beautiful and smart. Despite Jen's ongoing trauma from the accident, she tries to move on without taking her antidepressants this time. Inside the cabin, there are 2 bedrooms upstairs, with Ren and Michael in one room, Jen in the adjacent room, and Ian opting to sleep on the sofa. Ian turns up the music to drown out their noise and offers drinks to Jenna. Later that evening, they have dinner together with Wide, during which Jen and Ren go outside for some fresh air. Ren is pleased to see Jen starting to move on from her past. Wide then excuses himself again, mentioning some urgent matters and taking his dog, Bee, with him. It's revealed that before leaving, Wade gave Michael a joint, which Michael immediately indulges in. In the cabin, there is also a sauna facility. Michael invited the others to relax in the room. Initially, Gina refused because she couldn't forget about Jie. Rennie persuaded Gina, not wanting to see her friend sad. Eventually, Gina decided to move on and remove the necklace and ring she wore in memory of Jie. Michael, Ian, and Gina entered the sauna. Michael felt the effects of alcohol, while Gina contemplated moving on from her past. Gina finally joined them in the sauna, but still felt hesitant. Ian tried to comfort her, but Gina wanted to leave to get more drinks. Ian and Michael intervened, suggesting they had enough to drink. Later, they cooled off in the lake nearby. Gina and Rennie returned to the sauna, while Ian and Michael continued drinking. Ian returned to the sauna alone as Michael got heavily drunk. Meanwhile, Whit arrived at a location with a shovel, his intentions unclear. Back at the cabin, they repeatedly went between the lake and sauna. Ian declared it the last time in the sauna, but Michael, drunk, wanted Rennie to help him. Rennie refused, annoyed by Michael's behavior, leading him to leave angrily. Ian defended Michael, further upsetting Rennie. Shortly after, they were startled by the sound of something falling outside the sauna. Ren suspected Michael, thinking his drunken antics were to blame. This marked the beginning of their troubles. When Ren tried to leave, the door jammed, causing panic. Ian attempted to force it open to no avail. Yan advised them to stay calm to conserve energy and avoid dehydration. They noticed something blocking the door through the window and realized they needed to find a way out to prevent heat stroke. Ian reassured them, but they realized the thermostat inside couldn't control the sauna's temperature, which was controlled externally. They couldn't turn it off from inside. Ian tried using a hot stone to break the window. They succeeded and took turns breathing fresh air. They discovered a ladder blocking the door. Ian stayed positive, but Ren blamed Michael. Despite some improvement with fresh air, the heater would eventually bring the temperature back up. Ian attempted to move the ladder with a cloth-bound stone, but failed. Ren thought destroying the thermostat would shut off the heater, but Ian explained it would max out the temperature, potentially causing their skin to melt at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Then Ian came up with an idea to damage or disable the socket connected to the heater control outside. If the socket was damaged, the heater would shut off automatically. Meanwhile, we see W meeting with his friend to do something. They seem to be getting ready, and soon after, W's dog returns to the cabin, sensing something amiss. They hear the dog bark and shout for help, but Bao is alone, and W isn't with him. Meanwhile, W and his friend were preparing fireworks to liven up the Mayday Festival. Just as the noise of the fireworks erupted, Michael suddenly appeared outside the cabin and found W's dog barking. The trio inside the cabin heard Michael's voice and screamed for help, but the noise of the fireworks drowned out their cries. Michael seemed to remember something, but left without saying what. Then Bo returned and barked, seemingly signaling WT to come back to the cabin, that sensing something was wrong. Finally, WT decided to return, but was intercepted by Michael outside. Michael explained that he was left behind by his friends for the festival because he had fallen asleep and wasn't woken up, though he was actually heavily intoxicated from what W had given him earlier. Michael also mentioned that he tried to catch up with his friends at the festival but wasn't allowed in because he didn't have a ticket. After hearing Michael's story, WT felt sorry for him and took him for a walk to get some fresh air. Back with Ian, Jen, and Ren, they were all beginning to dehydrate as they had been trapped in the sauna for too long. Ren, unable to bear it any longer, attempted to destroy the thermostat, but Jen tried to stop her. Inadvertently, Jen hit Ren's head with a stone she was holding, causing Ren to faint. Ian moved Ren's body away from the heater to prevent further harm. Meanwhile, Michael and WT were enjoying themselves, and WT asked Michael about his opinion on his sauna. Michael briefly paused, seeming to remember something, then sarcastically remarked that he might forget about his sauna since he's busy getting drunk instead. Returning to those trapped, Gina, feeling desperate, finally destroyed the thermostat, causing the sauna heater to instantly increase to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Ian, already mentally broken, laughed hysterically. Feeling hopeless, he decided to destroy the heater with his own body. Due to Ian's actions, the heater exploded and the sauna door opened quickly. Jenna rushed to get water to relieve her dehydration and then went to her room to get her depression medication. But it turned out to be a hallucination. In reality, she was still trapped in the room with the unconscious Ren and the deceased Ian, who died from the heater explosion. Jenna tried to lift Ren's body to the door crack so she could breathe some fresh air, despite the heater being destroyed. However, another danger emerged as gas or fuel leaked from the heater, posing a risk of poisoning if inhaled in large quantities in the enclosed space. Jenna used a piece of wood to cover the pipe. Meanwhile, Michael returned to the cabin in a daze, unaware of his friend's condition. It was revealed that earlier, while drunk, Michael stumbled and accidentally wedged the ladder against the sauna door, preventing it from opening. Eventually, you returned to the cabin, confused by the chaos outside the sauna door. When he peeked inside, he saw the police and ambulances gathered to evacuate the scene. Michael could only cry in regret in the corner, realizing the consequences of his recklessness. The film concluded with this tragic ending.